Hello everybody, in this video I want to talk about React design principle, and you can look for it, React design principles. Okay, so you can see it here. Okay, there is a list of maybe 12 or 13 design principle, but I've made a summary of it, so let's jump to this summary. So first, what are React design principles? So there are 13: composition of components, common abstraction, escape hatches, stability, interoperability, scheduling, developer experience, debugging, configuration, beyond the DOM, implementation, optimize for tooling, and dogfooding. So 13 design principles, and these principles are the principles that guided the people that developed React and created React. Okay, so it is in general, when you have a project, you should do a design, and before the design you need to decide what are the design principles. And if you don't have a design, it's like a house that you are trying to build without a plan. So design is important, and design principle is even more important. So this is what the people in React have prepared. But it is also important to the developer that use React, because it can reveal information about React that you might not know. The first design principle is the composition of components, and basically components and the composition of component is really the heart of React. The idea is that in a big project you may have a lot of components, so many people write many components, but at the end they should work together. Okay, so even if you have a team of 10 people and everyone writing 10 components, these components should work together, even though they are developed by few people. Another important aspect is that you can add functionality to a component without changes to other components. The fact that I've changed maybe internally my Ajax engine from Axios to maybe Fetch should not affect other component. And the fact that I've changed my layout or my style in one component should not affect other component. The fact that I've changed one component should not cause a change in another component. In React, component actually represent a behavior, and this behavior include rendering, lifecycle, and state. This is very crucial in a component. Okay, and the second design principle is common abstraction. So everything that can be implemented by the user should be implemented by the user, but there are features that are cross-component or maybe happened in a lot of components. In this case, React might decide to implement the feature itself. And a good example may be state or lifecycle. And these features are discussed with the community, and React decide based on this and based on their internal development of React in Facebook on this feature, on this common feature. Escape hatches, and this is important because it says that React is designed so that it should be accessible to a wide range of developers and with different skills and experience levels. So this is very important. So even if you are a beginner, you should know JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, but you should be able to learn React. But if you also experience, you can also work with React. If React has a pattern that it does not want to use, as maybe some API, it should educate the programmer about an alternative before it deprecates this pattern. Stability. Okay, so it is important to keep the stability of API, because if an API has 2 arguments and tomorrow change it to 3 arguments, then all the apps that are using it will break and will fall. So you want to keep the API stability, but not in any cost. There may be cases that React decide to change an API, and so the API is deprecated, but React will warn developers. So it will add a warning about this API, and only on the next major version the change will take effect. Interoperability. You may be familiar with Create React app and you are building React from scratch, but React is designed also to be part of another website. Suppose you have a website that is not written in React and you want to add some feature using React. This should be possible, okay? And also vice versa. Scheduling. Okay, so a component return a description that of what it need to be rendered. In this case, the component is nice button, but React decide when to render it, and React may decide to delay computation until it is necessary. And this is very important aspect of React, the scheduling. The React will decide when the render will take action. Developer experience. A good developer experience is important in React, and that's why they have developed the React Dev tool that can allow you to debug your React application and see the state and the props. It also provides developers with warning, and this is why the developer version is slower than the production version. Debugging. So we saw it before. You can debug your application using React DevTools, and you can see the props and the state. And there is a very close link between your UI and the data that form it by means of state and props. Configuration. Okay, so it is problematic to use global runtime configuration, because if React has a global configuration and this React is embedded inside another website which has another global configuration, then there might be contradiction. So global runtime configuration is problematic in React, but global configuration does exist on build level for development and production. Beyond the DOM. Okay, so you are familiar with React that is working with the DOM, but React can work also with React Native. So when working with the DOM, you have the React and you have the React DOM. And the React module does not know who is rendering its objects. It does not know if it is DOM or is it React Native. Implementation. It is important for the React, the team that develop React. It is very important to provide elegant API, but they are less concerned about implementation. So if you look on their code, you are invited to look at react.js or react-dom.js. The implementation may not be so elegant. If you look on React or use React function, there are a lot of time composed of few words like component did mount, and component did mount is preferred over did mount, so it is more easy to understand the code with function component did mount as opposed to did mount. Also, an API like dangerously set inner HTML, you cannot miss it in code review. So it is important in React, also because it is used on tools like code mode and lean tools. Dogfooding. So React was developed in Facebook for internal use. So they prioritize issues that are internally on Facebook. This is a fact, but because it is heavily used in Facebook, it can give you the confidence that React won't disappear tomorrow. And on the other hand, React team does not ignore issue that raised by community, like support for web component. Web component is not required by Facebook, and it was developed by the React group solely for the community. So these are the 13 principles, and you can see them again here. And this is it. Thank you.